Hi everyone, this is Jack for ESFI, and here with me is the lovely kellyMILKIES. It's day one of MLG Providence, and we just finished the MLG Global Invitational where Naniwa won. And so this is your first MLG event. How do you feel about it so far? What are your thoughts?
I think everyone wants to come to at least one MLG in their life, and now that I can go to every MLG from now on, I mean, it's great. Like the current one, it's day one, so it's a lot of like not high quality matches yet, but I think tomorrow is going to be really exciting. I actually can't wait to lose my voice screaming.
What do you think of the atmosphere so far, and how does it compare to other events that you've attended?
I mean, I've been to BlizzCon. It's pretty hard to beat, where there are like an insane amount of people, you know, cheering for MLG, especially during GSL. You could hear the cheers vibrate throughout the building and outside, you know, to the road. So that's pretty insane. And I've been to like GSL, I've been to Gamescom. Those events, they're really good as well. But, you know, my first MLG, I want to see what day 2 and 3 is like first.
So you've been the center of quite a bit of positive and negative attention within the community, everything from the FHM spread in Singapore to just criticism on casting, and your whole year has been kind of a whirlwind. How do you stay positive against really harsh community criticism, and what are kind of things that you do to stay balanced and to stay positive and just, you know, focused on what you want and what your goals are?
Well, I think in general, if you want to be a public personality, be it whether you're a caster or, you know, you're a pro player, when I came into it, I knew that there was going to be a lot of pressure, be it good or bad, and I made some choices, which was to cast GSL and, you know, to do a photo shoot for a men's magazine. It's more of like, I understand, you know, the negativity towards me. I think partly it's because I'm the only female that is doing it professionally, which is why I always encourage more girls to do it, because then, you know, there's less spotlight on me, more on other girls, and I really encourage, you know, female to do more stuff like that. Another thing is, I understand because I'm Asian, so a lot of people are not used to my voice. People do say that, you know, they can't understand my voice. Those are the criticisms I get online. But in real life, like, nobody really has a problem with me. I have never heard someone say it in real life that, you know, they have problems with my voice. And how do I deal with them? I think everyone, you know, has a common knowledge that I just ignore them, because I have certain people I listen to, like Tasteless. He's my mentor. So if there's anything about casting that I want to work on, I go specifically to him. I said, Nick, you know, what can I do? What should I work on? How do I pace myself? So I listen to specific people that I know would help me, instead of, you know, making myself miserable by looking at forums and stuff like that. And also, if you do what you love, because I love esports so much, it keeps you going.
Kind of on that note, do you have any words of wisdom for community members who are facing either harsh criticism for the first time or just kind of getting their feet wet in the community?
I think in general, you have to set a goal for yourself. What is your end goal for doing things like that? Are you looking to become GSL standard? Are you looking to make yourself into a situation where you have an opportunity to cast for a really good event like MLG or GSL? If you know what your goals are and you work towards it, as long as you know that you're making progress, that's important. And one of the really, really important thing is you always have to stay focused, I guess. And criticisms, they're going to be everywhere. Even really, really popular casters, I mean the top casters, they have a lot of criticism as well. So just remember that if you work really hard, people will take notice of it, and, you know, you'll be the chosen one.
So you're in Providence now, and last weekend you were at the Zoe Divina in Shanghai. Can you tell us a little about that experience?
It's not the first female tournament I've been to, but there was definitely a great atmosphere, because all the girls that were there, it was great because I can speak both English and Mandarin, so I did some translation as well. But I think female gaming is really, really important. So it was a great event. It was really well run. They had a good production team as well.
What do you think some of the reasons were for the differences between the English numbers and the Mandarin stream numbers?
I think the thing is that, like in China and Taiwan, they are more acceptive of female gaming. So there's 350,000 concurrent views on the Mandarin stream. I was actually casting it in the semi-finals on the Chinese stream. English community, the international community, I think you can see on Team Liquid that they are not so receptive towards female gaming. So people did not want to tune in, and China internet, honestly, it's really, really bad. Like, it takes me 20 minutes to open, a page that is not like Gmail, because they don't support Google very much in China. It took me 20 minutes to open my Gmail. The upload cap was 400 kbps. It was really hard to, show the international scene how good the girls really were.
And so what are your thoughts about the female perception in the StarCraft 2 community? You kind of touched on it a little. And what do you think some of the advantages and disadvantages are of more female-only things in female tournaments?
Are you saying, like, only what are the good and bad things about female tournaments?
Yeah, and then your kind of thoughts about them and just females in general within the StarCraft 2 community.
I think that people have to differentiate between females who are really in the community, like those people who actually play the game or cast the game or do interviews like you, are journalists, and those that come to events that they don't play the game. Like, there's no offense to any type of girl you are. I'm like a non-judgmental person, but the community in general, obviously, they always look at the bad side of things, especially if you're female. Female tournaments, I think, are really good, because the thing is, females are afraid to play in male-dominant tournaments, but if they play in female tournaments and they win in it, like Flo, she has a lot of confidence to play in MLG. I think it overall encourages more female to play, even though it's people might think it's a sexist thing, like, why would you need a female tournament? But the main goal is to encourage more girls to play. And one more thing is, people think that being a girl in the community is really easy. Some of the criticisms that I get is, like, they're saying, oh, you get this because you're a girl. You get to cast GSL because she's a girl. But the truth is that, as a girl, it's actually much harder, because you have to do twice as hard to prove yourself. And always remember that I've actually played a lot of StarCraft in the past, and I tried to join a pro team, but the answer to it was, you can't stay in the team house because you are a girl. So people don't think about the setbacks that girls get, like, we can't stay in a team house because we are a girl, because I understand that it might bring some inconveniences. So they don't think about, like, the bad things. They think about things that, don't really matter, I guess.
What do you think the future of female players in the StarCraft 2 community is?
To get respected. I know a couple of female players who always whine and say, oh, I'm really good, why don't any team sponsor me or anything like that. My advice to girls like that, if you really think you're good, prove yourself, come and play in MLG Open, do well, beat good players. Like I said earlier as well, if you want to get noticed, do really hard, work really hard, and people will notice you. If you come to MLG, let's say next MLG, you play, like, you get into, you play so near into pool play, people are like saying, oh, who is this girl? Why is she doing so well? Let's groom her. Because the truth is, having females in your team brings publicity. So that's, as long as you pick up someone good, not like the Slayer's Eve incident where we actually don't know how good she is, but like Rainbow's girlfriend, Aphrodite, she's really good. And like Flo's really good as well. So those are the kind of female players that you should strive to be.
Do you have any other advice for aspiring female StarCraft 2 players?
Do everything do nothing differently. Play 6 to 8 hours a day, at least 6 days a week. That's minimum of what you need. Know what you need to work on. Have a really good coach. Ladder a lot. Play custom a lot. Play in every single tournament you can join. I mean, not like the minor one, but like MLG and stuff like that. Definitely should try it out if you think you're good enough.
So going back to the Zoe Divina, it was your first time back in the caster's chair in quite some time. How did it feel?
Well, it was good, I guess. I miss casting. I just don't have time to do it anymore. Like, I love casting a lot. I love talking about the game. I know a lot about the game because, like, I hang out with all the really good players, and all we talk about is balance. Hope I can cast more events.
And so you actually did some Dota shoutcasting as well. How was the transition from more of a MOBA style game to StarCraft?
Before Dota, I casted CS as well, so that was FES. I think you can talk about anything. Like, I mean, me and you, we talk about girly stuff like shopping. We also talk about other, we talk about other games like fighting game. We're at Canada Cup together. So as long as you like something, you can talk about it. That's what casters do. They talk about the game. As long as you have a passion for it, I don't think it's much of a difference.
What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of, I guess, just explain Dota and StarCraft 2 shoutcasting?
Well, the thing about Dota is that the games get really long, so there are fillers in between where nothing is happening for like 10 or 15 minutes, like literally nothing is happening. And you either have to make up things to say, talk about strategy, or talk about the players, whereas in StarCraft there's always something to talk about. But the bad thing is StarCraft often is very repetitive. It's just... I know every game is different, but sometimes it's the same strat. Oh, he's doing 1-1-1. He's doing Bane lane. He's going for example, just like 6 gate, 2 base. And these strats are all the same. How do you talk about it differently? That's the hard thing you have to think about in StarCraft.
And some of the advantages between the two?
I think Dota is really fun, especially when it comes to action, because there's 10 heroes, 5 from each team, and you can come in and say like, oh my god, ES is coming in for stun Fischl, he's blinking in, and Asa comes out with a Shadow Rays, and you just start, you get really hyped, because there are 10 heroes doing different things at once, and you just try to get that all out in like 5 seconds. You try to do that. That's one of the best part about casting Dota. StarCraft 2 is by far, I think, the most viewer-friendly game, visually, audially, and I think it's easy to understand if you don't play it. Just as long as you watch it a bit, you can start following it. So,
have you tried Dota 2?
Yeah, I have. I actually got beta when it just came out.
What are your thoughts on it?
When I just started it, I didn't really like it, and the way I describe it to friends were more like, oh, it's actually exactly like Han. Just that it's in Dota Heroes, because the mechanics, like when you do normal hit, it feels really slow compared to the original Dota, and the heroes were so limited. Some heroes are really broken, like anti-mage. If you get it and you are able to farm, that like just out-farms everything. That's the bad thing about Dota, like one hero can actually carry the whole team. I like it though, like if it comes to a point where I have time, I would consider playing it competitively again as well.
Would you consider shoutcasting Dota 2?
I think there are a lot of casters in the market at the moment. It's like StarCraft is very saturated, but I don't know. I would like to, but I just have to see if I have time from StarCraft, because I love StarCraft so much now.
So what other games are you currently playing?
I play fighting games like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 4. So those are really great games.
Do you think that you will do more in that sort of esports community in the fighting games?
I've been on like stream a few times for fighting games, just talking about stuff, and most of them like they do call-ins. A lot of people ask about StarCraft. One of the most common question is, what do you think is the difference between StarCraft and fighting game community, and what does StarCraft think about the fighting game community, and what does the fighting game community think about the StarCraft community, stuff like that. Really difficult political questions to answer, I guess.
Do you want to answer any of those right now?
Well, no. I'm afraid like people that,
I guess, what are some of the things that you like most about the StarCraft community, and what are some of the things that you like most about the fighting game community?
Okay, so I hope nobody hates on me for this, because I get hated on for everything I say. I'm like, that's an apple. People are like, no, that's not an apple. It's a pear. But it's an apple. But, okay, fighting game people think that StarCraft 2 players, they think it's a really big scene. They think they're really rich. They think the StarCraft 2 scene should not be so rich. And it's a common knowledge that, the StarCraft 2 scene has a lot of money from everywhere. Players, organizers, events. And it's a common knowledge that the StarCraft, the Street Fighter, the fighting game scene, they don't have that much money, but they have a really great heart. It's really community-based. A lot of it is a little bit clique-based as well. So I guess you can look at, like, the fighting game people think StarCraft people are, like, rich kids, and the StarCraft people think that, fighting game people are, like, kind of, like, I don't know what's the best way to say it, but I'll use the word ghetto kids. And, the fighting game people are actually proud of being ghetto. They like that they are ghetto. They're like, we want to keep it as shady and underground as possible. That's the exact word they use, so.
And so would you consider being a competitive player again? You kind of mentioned that maybe Dota 2, but is that something that you'd like to work towards?
Like, I am really competitive in nature. So anything that I play, I spend time playing, I want to be good at it. If I ever play Dota 2 again, I want to be competitive. Another game that I'm really interested in is Counter-Strike Go, CSGO. If there is a possibility that, you know, the game is good, because I tested it and it was okay. Like, I'm a big fan of 1.6, not at all of Source. So if CSGO is going to be a competitive game, because I'm moving to LA, I think there's a very high possibility that I'll play CS competitively again. That's like my first love, I would say.
So you like that? Would you say you like it better than StarCraft?
It's two completely different games. I love StarCraft because it's so complex, and it is really hard to play. I love CS because it looks like a really simple game, but it's actually really hard because it's so simple. People have to think of really good strategies to be, you know, to be on top, to be, you know, cutting edge and stuff. So
you did just move from Singapore to LA. How is the move, and what's your place like?
I actually don't have a place yet because I've been flying every week. I've been home in LA for like 1 or 2 days. So I've been like staying between friends and hotels for 1 or 2 days. But once in January, which is when there's less esports event, hopefully I'll find a nice pad to stay in.
Can you comment on the traveling? I think a lot of people at home don't really realize kind of how much effort and how much fatigue a lot of players and a lot of casters go through when it comes to just travel.
So you have seen like really insane travel schedule from people like Greg and Chris, and I've been like, okay, like Providence is my 16th city for the year, and it's not even like through the year yet, and I'm going to DreamHack after this. I'm not complaining, I love traveling, but can you imagine sitting on a chair that is nowhere near comfortable for 14 to 20 hours every week, and that's 2, and you come back, that's 30 hours of purely living on a plane. Chris at one point said that he couldn't sleep unless he was on a plane, and like, the good thing about me is I don't get jet lag, so that's lucky. But a lot of people get so bad jet lags, they can't focus when they're playing, especially pro gamers. People don't understand when pro gamers say, I'm going to take a break from traveling for 3 months because I want to focus on practicing, but they don't actually realize how tiring it is. Like, my back's been hurting for like 2 months now because of sitting in airplanes for 20 hours, and it's just insane. So the things we do for esports.
And so you've just been hired by Own3D. What's your role within the company, and are you enjoying it so far?
It's actually really exciting. I'm the new community manager. We never really had a community team before because Own3D structure was they wanted to build the business first. They wanted to make sure we have a really good base structure before they started doing, you know, PR stuff, community stuff. Now that we know we have the best product in the market, we want to create more awareness. I mean, we are really dominant in games like League of Legends and in Europe as well. We are like a really big European company. In League of Legends, we have streamers who get like 22,000 concurrent viewers. That's like unheard of in StarCraft. And, you know, things like that. Those are relations we already have, and we are looking to establish like new relations. We are really, really keen to help esports, and one of the very cliche thing I would say is we want to help make esports more mainstream. And we have also thought about, like, you know, since we are not considered mainstream, why don't we, you know, make ourselves mainstream? So that's one of the really big things in esports. And really, in my point of view, no matter what it is, whichever streaming companies there are in the market at the moment, everyone is doing a great job because of online TV shows, because of online streaming, pro gamers have a way to sustain themselves. I'm thankful to, you know, everyone that is making this work, no matter whether you're from Ustream, Livestream, or, you know, other platforms like Justin TV. Everyone that's working for esports, you're great. But, you know, just to let you guys know, you know, Own3D is here. We have a community team. We are committed to whatever you guys need. So besides illegal stuff, even though, you know.
So that's all the questions that I have for you. Do you have any shout outs?
Big shout out to Own3D, my fans, my friends. One thing I want to thank is my friends who has been there for me, because before I started GSL, I told myself that I need to find an esports shop by the end of the year. Otherwise, I would I would stop esports and go back to a day job. But I got a great esports job, and I also promised that I would get a Zerg tattoo if I get an esports job. So I'm getting my Zerg tattoo soon, just looking for a space to put it. And my friends who have been supporting me for so long, especially in like hard times like pre-GSL and after GSL, without them I would not still be here, because they have been supporting me a lot. Like Nick, Tasteless, my mentor, and Sir Scoots, my fans, Dario, Chris, Huck, everyone means so much to me, and you and Slasher that's standing behind helped me so much. Everyone, thank you so much.
Do you have a Twitter? Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, follow me on Twitter at kellyMILKIES, and you can like my Facebook at kellyMILKIES as well. Hope you guys are gonna enjoy, StarCraft 2 and ride with us through this golden wave. I don't think that this is going to be a bubble. It's going to be around for a long time, at least 5 or 7 years more. And for everyone that is, with all of us on this journey, with ESFI and stuff like that, and Team Liquid, whatever, pro team, you're an organizer, you're a talent, you're a player, you're part of the community. We're all in this together, and let's enjoy our youth, I'll say.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.